Kia ora, tonight on City News. Locals get the chance to see the inside of the new police station when the doors are open for Saturday's Police National Open Day. Organisers are delighted with the turnout for the inaugural Rotorua Olive Festival. And the Slam Rock Roller Derby event leaves fans wanting more of the exciting sport. The Bay of Plenty community can have a glimpse into the world of modern policing this weekend at events being held in Rotorua and Tauranga as part of the first ever New Zealand Police National Open Day.
Hi, I'm Mike Bush, Commissioner of Police. I'd like to personally invite you to come along to the Police Open Day that we're holding in stations the length and breadth of the country. It's a real opportunity for you to come along and meet your local police and to have a look behind the scenes at what modern policing is really about. It's also an opportunity to celebrate the partnership that we have with you. That partnership that's so critical, enabling us to do what we're here to do, which is to keep you safe.
In Rotorua, the public have the chance of a tour through the new Rotorua Police Station and District Police Headquarters, which was officially opened by Police Minister Anne Tolley on Friday.
And it's quite a beacon, really, of safety for the community, but also she's a very beautiful building, surrounded by this beautiful cloak. And they've taken great care here to show that this is about the community in which it lives, Te Arawa and the people of Rotorua. So this is a very big day.
District Commander for Bay of Plenty, Superintendent Glenn Dunbier, says many in the community are keen to take a look at the brand new Rotorua Police Station. He says all ages are welcome at Saturday's Open Day with plenty of interest for children and adults alike. The event runs from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Organisers of Saturday's inaugural Rotorua Olive Festival say they're delighted with the success of the event. MICE Marketing Manager Diane Curtis says nearly 50 people took the opportunity to share with the Agrodome its first ever olive harvest press. And the Olive Festival is planned to be an annual event, with the Agrodome hoping to grow the festival in the years to come. A new business in the CBD is hoping to help fight the flab by offering nutritious juices, smoothies and shakes. Business owner Rikiana Kingi says he also stocks gym supplements and offers training advice.
Still going through a little bit of a journey with concept and stuff, but eventually I want to try and make this place a smoothie bar and a health bar, so you can buy your salads here and all that sort of stuff. Just trying to change it up. Just basically things that I like to eat is what I want to sort of get out there a little bit.
In sport tonight, Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic have kept their hopes alive in the ANZ Netball Championship, making the finals last night in a nail-biting win against the New South Wales Swifts in Sydney. In a dramatic final quarter turnaround, Kia Magic produced a storming finishing to pip the New South Wales Swifts 50-49. Magic will now play the winner of the Melbourne Vixens vs Queensland Firebirds preliminary final. Roller Derby made its debut in Rotorua on Saturday with a sellout crowd and a home win, leaving the crowd of around 600 wanting more. The Slam Rock event at the Sportsdrome featured a match between Motley Crue of Rotorua and Iron Maidens from Mount Maunganui. Organiser and Motley Crue bench manager Layla Robinson said the night exceeded all expectations. And finally, Whakarewa are currently third in the Baywide Premier competition after their 46-17 win over Rangataua on Saturday. However, Rotoiti rugby fans were left disappointed after the locals lost to Grit and Marist 39-17. Rotoiti have now slipped back to the 6th in the competition. And to your weather now. Tonight, rain with northeasterlies and an overnight low of 11. For tomorrow, Tuesday, rain, heavy falls, northeasterlies, a high of 13 and a low of 10. And the outlook for Wednesday, rain, sometimes heavy, gusty easterlies, a high of 13 and a low of 9. And the marine weather forecast for Lake Rotorua, northeast rising to 25 knots in the evening with waves rising to 1 metre, poor visibility in rain, possibly heavy. Remember, for program listings or to watch City News again, visit our website tvrotorua.co.nz. You can also see updates and enter competitions on our TV Rotorua Facebook page. Still to come in the show tonight, Alan Solomon talks with Labor MP Clayton Cosgrove, and we cover last week's Arbor Day celebration planting at Karenga Park.
Labor MP Clayton Cosgrove is in Rotorua today, and we're going to be discussing various issues that are facing New Zealand and Rotorua, things like the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, earthquake-proofing our buildings, and also Labor policies regarding trade training. So, hi Clayton, welcome to the show. It's always nice to have a politician come to our city, so what are you up to here in Rotorua today?
Well, look, I'm here to support Tamati Coffee. He's going to win this seat. He's a dynamic local person here. He's got deep roots in the community. He's out there every day knocking on the doors, representing the community. I've been in his office this morning and people have been coming in and out, wanting help, even helping people out. So we're here to support him.
Now, last week we had Dave Cunliffe come and visit us. It was good to catch up with him. Some of the policies he was talking about got the crowd worked up. One of them was about the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. Now, that's been pretty much hidden and undercover by the national government. What's your view on the TPPA, and should it be opened up to public scrutiny?
Well, we've supported as a Labor Party free trade since the late 1970s. And of course we did in the Alan Clark government a deal with China, which is providing a heck of a lot of economic growth input into economies like Rotorua, exporting economies. There should be more transparency and openness with it. When we were in government, we got the NGOs, the trade unions, the business guys, all stakeholders, and we brought them along with the Chinese dealers. So we were in close contact as a government with those agencies and those groups, bringing them along and keeping them informed about the deal. You can't negotiate a deal in public. And I think if there's a criticism I've got of the government, they haven't brought those interest groups along. The business community needs to be a lot more vocal because all we hear is the negative side of it. I mean, the figures are there. The more access we can get, for instance, to the United States, to the Japanese market, to other markets, the more jobs that will exist in New Zealand. But we have to make an assessment. We have some bottom lines. We say that we must always have the ability to regulate and legislate for the public. So we want to protect Farm Act, for instance. We don't want that eroded. We want to be able to, as I say, regulate and legislate for the public good. So we want to make sure that SOEs, intellectual property, Farm Act and some other key issues are protected and dealt with appropriately, so we have control over these issues. Equally, it's got to be a high quality deal. I mean, you can sign any piece of paper and call it a deal. The big winner, if we can get it on the table, is agriculture. If we can get our agriculture to get into a multi-faceted free trade agreement where we can access greater markets where their protections are dropped, which makes our produce, our beef, sheep and dairy being number one, more competitive and more palatable, then that's got to be good for New Zealand because that puts dollars back, millions and millions of dollars back into our country. So we've got to see where the deal sits when it's finally released, and we've got to make an assessment of that. But we're a party that supports, our history is a party that supports free trade because it's in our own interest. But we have bottom lines, and we're not going to move on those bottom lines.
There's lots of various issues you brought up there, so let's focus on a couple of them, especially things like the economy. Now, for the economy to make money, we need jobs, and for those jobs, we need skilled people. So let's talk about your policy with getting people who are on the dole into trade training.
Well, the sad thing I hear from Tamati is that 4,500 trade training jobs gone out of the bay, funding cut. This is bad news. Regional New Zealand, parts are growing, parts are patching. The best thing you can do with somebody who's unemployed is to give them the skills they need to get a job. What's the biggest barrier generally to business taking on an apprentice?
It's obviously the cost.
Yeah, but it's also, you take me on, I don't know what I'm doing. The cost is that you've got to have your best guys supervising me, and it takes about a year generally before a young person can get the skills they need to add some real value to the firm. So you've got to bear all those costs. What if we said, okay, person's on the unemployment benefit, we'll give the boss the unemployment benefit, he's got to top it up to a marketable wage, no slave labour, but that basically pays the wage bill to take that young person off the dole and to train them. That pays for 1 year, the first year. At the end of that year, when the young person's got skills, they're adding value, then the boss, the firm, picks up the wage bill and takes them right through an apprenticeship. That costs not $1 extra, because that same young person, if they're languishing on the unemployment benefit, still has to be paid the unemployment benefit. But it gives the firm a bit of help to get over that cost. We've got 90,000 young people, not in education or training. Where I come from in Canterbury, world's biggest training scheme. We need 40,000, 50,000 tradespeople. If we'd have done this 3 years ago when the earthquake hit 3.5 years ago, most of those kids would be now qualified as tradespeople. You have kids from Rotorua and other places. Not that we want to take your young people out of it, but they would, they both here and say in Canterbury, getting that training, utilising those skills. And the other great thing is because many of our tradespeople become their own boss. They start their own plumbing business, their own carpentry business, their own electrical business. They become young entrepreneurs, which is fantastic. The government just doesn't want to, and our politics are fantastic, but they can't do it all, and they can't shoot out the numbers we need.
Very true, Clayton. Now, you mentioned earthquakes. Now, earthquake-proof buildings here in Rotorua, it's been a touchy subject for the public.
It's right across New Zealand.
Yeah. So what's your view on that? What happens if and when Labour wins the election? Are they still going to be quite stringent on these landlords having to have their buildings earthquake-proofed?
Well, I come from Canterbury, right? A place where there was never going to be an earthquake. And the last place I would have thought growing up as a kid, everybody thought it was going to happen down the road in Wellington, right? Now, the juxtaposition is, you've got heritage buildings and buildings which now the government says have to come up to code. There's a transitional provision. But no one knows actually what the total value of all these costs will be.
It's going to be huge, though.
It's going to be huge, yeah. And so the government said, and there is some common sense to this, that there's a transitional provision. And you've got so many years to get it up to spec. I think the flip side is if you're going to rent out your building and ask people to work on it, it's got to be safe.
All right, good stuff, Clayton Cosgrove. Appreciate your time.
Tātou, he mihi hoki ki te tangata I mau mai te kita, ana he mihi hoki ki o koutou me ngā kō, me ngā pueru e tika ana kau e titiro ki o te koutua he katoa ngā pueru. Morera, tēnā koe kare, tēnā pōru.
Okay, well, kia ora everyone and welcome today to all of you. My name is Councillor Janet Weber and I've had the privilege of being on council now for 11 years. And I just wanted to let you know this is the first time I've ever got to use this special shovel. And this one was made for the Queen to use in 1977. So you have to wait a long time to use this. So I'll be planting the first tree. But Arbor Day was started a long time ago and every year we celebrate it on 5th of June. Anywhere, rain or shine in Rotorua, we plant lots of trees. And this is the first time for a long time we're going to plant fruit trees and nuts and all of that sort of stuff. So thank you to all of you that have come down today, all of the coaching community, the preschool, the schools, the extra help from Western Heights, and all of the community that are coming to look after the trees and help us to make this space so much better. In the future, we're going to have a water fountain and hopefully be able to do a few other things here at the park. So thank you so much for coming. I'm sure you'll have great fun planting your trees. I always love the trees and I hope that we're not doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for all of these children and grandchildren.
Well, it's been a great community turnout here at Kāringa Park to celebrate Arbor Day. Now, as you can see behind me, some of the high school students from Rotorua are just doing a haka to sign off the day. But I'm going to be catching up with Janet Wepa from the council and also Horticultural Officer Mark Padgett. Now, they're going to be talking about what Arbor Day is, what it means to the Koutou community here at Kāringa Park, about the awesome day of planting trees. Hi Janet, good to have you on the show today. Awesome turnout here at Kāringa Park, a great way to celebrate Arbor Day.
It's fantastic, and I'm so delighted so many of the community have turned up. In fact, there's so many from the community, about 160 I think, and there's 80 trees, so they've got a shed digging them, and it's just wonderful. Fantastic that people are so keen to come.
Now, there's about 80 trees being planted right now by the various schools from Rotorua. Do you know what sort of, are they fruit trees or nut trees?
Well, there's natives. We've got some natives. I got to plant the first one with a special silver shovel that the Queen used in 1977. It's my first time ever, so that was pretty exciting. But the trees we've got today, I'm really thrilled because I've so long wanted us to have fruit trees, and having them on the reserves is great because we as council can help look after them. The community know they're there, they can look after them and enjoy eating them when they're all fruit in a few years. So we've got mandarins, persimmons, feijoa, a hazelnut, walnut trees, and it's just wonderful to see all this. We're actually going to be putting a water fountain in here soon. So it's really just in a lovely, quiet way, talking about healthy food and looking after the community.
Now, I drive past here every day, on the way to work and home, and the transformation that we've seen over the last couple of years is amazing. And I think that probably the most important thing is that, like you mentioned, the whole community here in Koutou have got right behind it.
They have, and we had a lot of pre-meetings with the Koutou community over a number of years, so that they kind of owned it and got what they wanted, which was the skate park, which was basketball hoops. And now we've got some funding from Southern Trust. We had one of our staff apply, and we've got the barbecue, and it's just fantastic. And it's really the support from the community because we want to look after it. So that makes us want to do something here. And it's happening around many parts of Rotorua, and I'm so excited about that.
Now, you mentioned there's going to be a fountain here in the future. What other things have you got planned for Koutou Park? Kāringa Park?
Well, I think it's an ongoing conversation with the community about what they like, they would want to see, but definitely the water fountain. We can't go too far ahead, we've got to get funding, we can't rely on rates all the time, and we do have many other skate parks to look after, so there's other people wanting us to do more at the skate parks that we've currently built. Mamaku, of course, wants a skate park, eastern suburbs want a skate park, so we just got to try and share it around the community.
Let's have a chat about the actual planting of the tree. Now, you mentioned you used the spade that the Queen used when she was here. Now, someone said over my shoulder that spade is more decoration than any practical uses. Was that true?
I guess it's probably true. I mean, it's shined up and pulled out every year, and I was told by someone not to be too rough with it because I didn't want to be the first one to bend it. So I don't know if that's true, but I wasn't willing to try.
Well, now, when we were filming you planting, now the kids around you, they had a great time. So obviously this is something that they don't always do themselves either.
I guess that's true, and so it's so neat, and especially it's always nice, isn't it, when there's a lot of people around doing the same thing. It makes it more exciting. So I think they were really enjoying it. You can see some of them really like to dig, so it was encouraging that and helping them to learn how to do it the right way. I think it's great. So we've got the Castle Corp staff here and all of that.
Cool. Now, before we go, Janet, you've got some exciting news because you're going to be a grandma again.
I am. I'm really excited. Thank you, Alan. Yes, I've got Amelia, of course, who used to work for you in TV Rotorua, and she's in Melbourne with her husband, and she's having her third baby soon in the middle of July. And I've also got my other daughter, Marama, and she's having twins, all about the same time.
So you're going to be a busy mamu.
I'm going to be very busy. I'm already busy, but I'm busier.
Right, okay, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Mark, good to have you on City News today. Now, obviously, you're the horticultural officer at the RDC. It sounds like a pretty interesting job.
Yeah, it is. It is. I get an opportunity to work with a lot of people, but obviously work with plants as well. So that's what I enjoy doing. So yeah.
So you're pretty happy with the turnout, because you mentioned when you were talking up on the stage, there was about 180 people here. So that's a good turnout.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's the best turnout I think I've ever had at an Arbor Day. So that's fantastic. And well, I guess we're a little unprepared for it, but that's a good problem.
Yeah.
So yeah. So hopefully people will take real ownership of the trees that they've planted and look after them and reap the rewards, which will be fruit and nuts.
What's sort of the logistics of putting a day like this together and getting this huge amount of people out here to plant trees?
Logistics is all around planning, making sure that you've got the sites prepared, got the plants ordered, got the right plants that you want to plant, and getting notices out to the people to come along and join in. So that's very much a team effort, and right through from myself and the nursery obviously doing the plants, and Linda is involved with getting the advertising out there, and Castle Corp doing all the preparation work. So real team effort.
They did a great job, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Now obviously we're here for Arbor Day, but when did it all start?
Okay, so it started in the United States in 1872 in Nebraska, and that people had a real concern about the loss of vegetation cover on the plains, so they decided that they needed to do something about it, and planting trees was the option that they came up with. And in 1930, it became something that was established in New Zealand, and in 1977, I think it was, we officially called June the 5th Arbor Day, which is also World Environment Day, incidentally. So, yeah, ever since then, I think Rotorua's had an Arbor Day planting, and we've done various plantings around the place, mainly with native trees. So we started up at Blomfield Gully, and then over at Rayboard Park, and also a lot of the plantings around the stadium, International Stadium, were done as Arbor Day plantings as well.
I find that quite interesting that 130 years ago people recognised that losing vegetation is a bad thing and we need to do something about it. I find that really interesting, especially even here in New Zealand in the 1930s, like you mentioned.
Yeah. People
recognised the issue.
Yeah, it is, and it takes people with real vision to see that sort of thing, because obviously planting a tree today doesn't have any great impact on changing the environment or adding trees to the visual landscape, but give it 20, 30 years and then they start to come into their own, and the real impact is noticed and appreciated. So yeah.
Now you can't see, but just over your shoulder the barbecue's all ready to go. So Mark, we'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
And enjoy your sausage. Nice to see you.
Hopefully I'll get one.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
A great event there last week at Cuttinga Park in celebration of Arbor Day. To catch up on City News or to watch the show again, go to tv.rotorua.co.nz and click on Latest News. Thanks for joining us tonight. From all the team at City News, for Maria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.